We've all been there, right? Staring at a massive textbook for a certification exam, thinking the only way through is to lock yourself in a room for a month and just cram. But what if that's the least effective way to study, especially for something as complex as the CompTIA Security Plus?
That's exactly it. The cramming approach might help you recognize a few terms, but it completely fails when you need to actually apply knowledge under pressure. For Security Plus, you need a real strategy, a battle plan. It's less about memorizing and more about genuinely understanding.
So, where does SISWA Battle Plan begin? What's the first step to get off on the right foot?
It starts with the official exam objectives from CompTIA's own website. Seriously, this document is your holy grail. It's not just a list of topics, it's a blueprint of the entire exam. It tells you exactly what they expect you to know.
I'm looking at it for the SY0 negative 701 version. It's broken down into 5 domains, and they even give you percentages. General security concepts is 12%, threats and mitigations is 22%, security architecture is 18%, security operations is a big one at 28%, and finally, security program management is 20%.
Exactly. Those percentages are your guide for how to allocate your study time. You can see right away that security operations and threats are almost half the exam combined. Ignoring those weights is like training for a marathon by only practicing sprints. You're focusing on the wrong things.
That makes sense. So, the objectives are your ultimate guide. But knowing what to study is only half the battle. How do we actually structure our learning to absorb all that information effectively over time?
You build a routine. This isn't a weekend project. Most people need a solid 3 to 4 months. The trick is to break those big domains down into small weekly goals. And consistency is everything.
You mean like studying for an hour or two every day is better than a 15-hour marathon on a Saturday?
Infinitely better. Those daily sessions leverage a principle called spaced repetition. Your brain builds stronger, more permanent connections to the information when you revisit it in short, regular intervals. Cramming just creates a fragile, short-term familiarity that evaporates the second you walk out of the testing center.
I've heard people use tools for this, like blocking out time on Google Calendar or using a Trello board to move topics from a to learn list to mastered.
Those are perfect examples. It's about making the process visual and building a habit. It turns this mountain of an exam into a series of small, conquerable hills.
Absolutely consistency and breaking things down. Now that we have a plan and a schedule, how do we actually test our knowledge and make sure we're retaining what we're learning?
That's where practice exams come in, and they are non-negotiable. But you have to use them strategically. The very first thing you should do, even before you start studying seriously, is take a baseline practice test.
Really? Before you even know anything? That sounds a little intimidating.
It is, but it's invaluable. It shows you your starting point and exposes your biggest knowledge gaps right away. It's a diagnostic tool. After that, you take smaller, domain-specific quizzes as you study each module. Then, once you've covered all the material, you start doing full-length practice exams weekly.
And what's a good score to aim for on those practice tests? When do you know you're ready?
If you're consistently scoring in the 75 to 85% range on high-quality practice exams, that's a strong sign you're ready for the real thing. But here's the most important part. The real aha moment for most students.
Go on.
The magic isn't in taking the test. It's in reviewing your mistakes. You should plan to spend double the time reviewing your wrong answers as you spent taking the test itself.
Double the time? That's a huge commitment.
It is, but that's where the learning happens. You need to create an error log. For every question you get wrong, you don't just look up the right answer. You write down, in your own words, why the correct answer is right and why your answer was wrong. This forces you to actually understand the concept, not just memorize a fact.
So it's not just about testing, but about active learning. Speaking of active learning, what about getting your hands dirty? I hear this exam isn't all multiple choice.
You heard right. This is the part that trips up so many people. The performance based questions or PBQs. They are hands-on simulations where you have to, say, configure a firewall or analyze network traffic. Reading about it is one thing. Doing it is another.
I see. So theory alone won't cut it.
Not at all. It's like reading about how to swim is passive. Actually getting in a pool and configuring a firewall rule is active. And the data backs this up. Students retain up to 75% more information with hands-on practice. It's a massive difference. In fact, candidates who use virtual labs had a 30% higher pass rate.
Okay, so labs are essential. What tools are we talking about? Does this get expensive?
Not necessarily. Many of the best tools are free. You should be playing with Wireshark to look at network packets, Nmap to scan a network, and you can set up virtual machines for free using VirtualBox to create a safe sandbox. The key is to integrate this practice from the beginning. Labs should happen times while times you read, not after.
This is all great for the long haul, but what about when the pressure is on the final week before the exam?
The final week is a total mindset shift. It's about polish, not cramming. Your goal is light review and getting your body and mind ready.
So, no all-nighters fueled by energy drinks?
Absolutely not. That's the worst thing you can do. Remember, cramming only builds short-term familiarity. The Security Plus exam requires deep recall, which cramming destroys. Instead, you should do short, focused reviews of your weakest areas, the stuff you identified in your error log, and focus on rest and nutrition. Getting good sleep and staying hydrated can have a bigger impact on your score at that point than rereading another chapter.
That's a powerful point. The exam isn't just a test of knowledge, but a test of endurance and mental clarity.
Exactly. You've done the hard work over months. The final week is about trusting that work. So, if we were to boil it all down, the keys to success are pretty clear. First, the performance-based questions are the toughest part, and they often show up first on the exam with a heavier weight. So, hands-on labs are critical.
Got it. Don't just read, do.
Second, when you take practice tests, spend twice as much time analyzing your mistakes as you did taking the test. That's how you turn a weakness into a strength.
Learn from your errors. Makes sense.
Third, that final week is for rest and light review, not cramming. Your brain needs to be sharp, and cramming just creates fatigue and anxiety.
Right? Trust the process you've built.
And finally, 2 things from the very beginning of your journey. Take a baseline assessment before you even start to know where you stand, and use those official CompTIA objectives as your roadmap for the entire journey. It's a balanced approach, but it's what separates passing from truly crushing the exam.